now, but how does this one feel? Does it feel any different for you after you've been to a grand final the year before? Or?
No, it feels just the same. I haven't had a pain in the guts for about 4 or 5 months, and I got one this week because something's happening. It was funny, I was with Lee Matthews last night. He said, is the pain in the guts back yet? Because that's why he reckons he gave it away. He just got sick of that. But yeah, so the excitement rises. We do a lot of work over the summer. We do a lot of work with our players, and then we hold our breath in practice games that we don't get too many injuries because we want to get to the line in best shape that we can be. And here we are, but it never changes. It's always exciting. You don't know what lays ahead. That's the beauty of the season. You guys do all your predictions, and all we care about is performance. So it's down to round 1 this week, or round 0. I keep saying round 1, but it's round 0, yeah.
You must feel pretty happy that, from what we understand, it's likely that just really kind of at this stage, Connor's probably the only player, maybe Tom, obviously he's a new recruit, and then Will, but Connor's probably the only player that's likely to be regular makeup of your best 22 perhaps. It's not in that best 22?
Yeah, that'd be fair to say. He's really close to playing, but we'll just give him another week. We're fortunate outside of Tom Doedee and Will Ashcroft, who will come back for us, the weeks ahead, that we've got pretty much our best available. So our fitness staff, coaches have done a really good job to get to that point. You need a bit of luck as well, so we've had a little bit of luck.
I guess that raises the Darcy Gardner situation. Is he potentially going to play forward, or could he take that spot down back?
He could do either, yeah.
Thought I had something there.
We've been trying to build a little bit of versatility in our team. I think all clubs are trying to do that, and we've been doing that for a fair while. So that was just another step in that direction this year. You never know in a game when you might need to flip somebody over, or when you might get some injuries. So you're always trying to find out a little bit more about your group and what they can and can't do.
It's a fun coaching challenge, Chris, where you've got a pretty settled team that did so well last year, for you to try and find small improvements in what you already had previously.
Yeah, it's all about tweaks. You look at all the great organisations around the world, whether they be sporting or other, and if you look at how they operate, they don't make too many changes every year, maybe 1 or 2 good ideas to make things a little bit better. So that's what we've been searching for over the pre-season. We won't change too much because what we had got us pretty close. So we don't need to turn the world upside down and change everything. We just need to find a few better ways to do things. So that's what we've done.
Thanks, Boss. You spoke about the responsibility that sort of coaches have to play a role in developing the game up here. Just your thoughts on opening round, and is it going to have the impact that you and the AFL and the broader community wants?
Yeah, I think it will. This is it's sort of an NRL town, but it's becoming an AFL town as well, I reckon. I've watched the growth over the last 6 or 7 years since I've been up here, and participation rates are through the roof. I think they're the best of anywhere in the country. I think we're challenging places like West Australia and South Australia for participation in the game, which probably means that outside of Victoria we might have the most participants in this sport, which is really exciting. And a lot of people over a long period of time have done work to get us to that point. Vossi back when he was a player and that great era, and now this group here. I think people are really interested in footy, and a lot of people are jumping on board. And I live down near Morningside Oval, and I walk past there pretty much every day, and all the ovals are full all the time. It's just a great thing to see.
Just back on your team, Chris, the player we ask about every pre-season, your player here today, Cam Rayner.
Yep.
Is this the year we'll see him play a chunk more time in the midfield? I know he's super versatile, but will we see more in the middle this year? Yeah,
so he's played halfback, he's played forward, he's played key forward, he's played on ball. So he's got a bit of versatility. Yeah, I think what we've seen over the pre-season, he's playing a bit more midfield time, and we'll roll with that. But again, he's someone that we can move elsewhere. If you lose a tall forward, he can go and play as a tall forward. He's a really versatile player and probably underrated in that regard.
What have you seen in the pre-season that's made you think now's the time that he could play more in the midfield? Like, how has he improved and how has he developed anything?
Yeah, he's a better runner. He's really worked on his running, and he's got better endurance now. He's still not an endurance beast, but he's improved that enormously. Enough to be able to play good minutes in the midfield, which is all that is required. And obviously when he goes forward, he's very dangerous. His value is his power around the stoppages and the things that he can do there. So we're really pleased with how he's developed, and he's a great team man, and he'll play any role that's required of him.
Chris, what will Trent Cotchin bring to the club in his role?
Yeah, there was a bit of hullabaloo about that this week. So we've had leading teams and Simon Fletcher as our leadership consultant group, and they continue to do that. Fletch runs the program. The reason we got Trent involved was because we felt like he's recently out of the game. He's been a captain of a premiership club. He's probably got a lot of knowledge that he can pass on to our group of leaders. They can learn from him, but not just our leaders, our younger players, because he had a football journey. So that's how we use him. You can't get enough of that. It's like why I got Luke Hodge up here in the first place. He could teach our boys a lot about how to play the game. Whereas Trent, it's sort of like trying to, just improve our leadership just incrementally so that we can be a better team on and off the field. So that's where he fits in.
Faith, I know when you get to the end of the season last year and you go through the grand final loss, and you've spoken a lot about this idea of failing your way to the top kind of thing, and you always learn from your mistakes, and that's always kind of the approach you're going to take through it all. When you get to round one and you just kind of go, okay, we've got to climb our way back up to the mountain, and it just seems like such a big mountain. You've got to go again to get all the way back to that opportunity to win another premiership again. Do you kind of look at it like that? Gosh, here we go. It's such a big kind of prospect in front of us again when you get to the start, if that makes sense.
I know people can think that, but you actually don't. When you're in a performance environment, all you think about is the next performance, and if you get enough of your performances right during the footy season, that you'll be there when the whips are cracking. But you can't get caught up in thinking too far ahead. It's just insane to do that. You don't know what's going to happen. The competition's so even, so you can't even assume that you're going to get back there. They're so hard to get into. So it's boring, I know, but we just sort of take it one game at a time and try and build. That's all you can do.
What about I know you don't want to look backwards, but playing Carlton, and they did get the jump on you last year. I know things change, you learn, etc. But what did you learn from that start in the prelim? And you obviously don't want to let a 5-goal jump happen again.
You never do though. That's the case in any work. I mean, they just came out and played great. As much as anything, they were fantastic. So unfortunately, they couldn't keep going. But it's another game tomorrow. So who knows? Who knows? Who'll kick the first few goals? It's not something I look back on and think, I hope that won't happen again. It could, might not. So it's not really something you spend any time thinking about, to be honest.